Hey everyone. I'm Isabelle Landicho. I'm a multidisciplinary creative based in London via the Philippines. I am fashion director of The Earth Issue, a creative agency with a focus on environmental intersectionality. As well as my work with The Earth Issue, my own work encompasses disciplines such as styling, art direction, public speaking, and content creation. The Earth Issue is a creative agency dedicated to using art and image culture as a driving force for intersectional and environmental activism. Established in 2016 as a pioneering platform for the environmental arts. We offer fully integrated creative services such as art direction, photography, fashion styling, video production, web and graphic design, and editorial writing. We are passionate about raising awareness for intersectionality, ecological sustainability, social justice, and for inspiring and empowered consciousness towards our planet and global society. Our clientele include the Barbican, Stella McCartney, Lush, and the Edition hotels. We have been featured in Another Magazine, Dazed, and Tate Modern. So, what sets us apart as a creative agency is that we value diversity, anti-racism, inclusion, representation, and equality. We aim to instigate change through our work and collaborate with people who share the same values as us. We are enthusiastic about brands and projects who care for people and for nature, and who respect the mutual relationship between the two. We place impactful art and education at the center of all collaborations. Our aim is to inspire through storytelling and to continue creating space for activism and conversation. We are committed to exclusively working with clients who share respect for the environment and social justice. Whenever possible, we work with local teams and avoid flying out talent or crew in order to reduce the carbon footprint of our production. We shoot with natural light as much as possible to reduce electricity usage. We adhere to low-waste methodology on location in terms of catering and production. We use sustainable printing practices and/or carbon-neutral print shops for any printed media. And we team with local, artisanal, small-scale businesses for all partnerships with vendors and suppliers. We admit that we are not perfect in our practice, but however, we are committed to being wholly transparent and strive to work as ecologically as possible while not compromising on quality and production. These are my teammates, the people behind the Earth Issue. Despite what you may think, we are a really small group of dedicated individuals who work together in running the business. As a startup, we face many challenges, but the best and possibly the worst thing is running a company with your friends. Eleanor founded the Earth Issue in 2016 with Myla, who is based in Montreal, and I joined in 2018 after art directing a freelance Stella McCartney project with them. The benefit to being a small business is that we are reactive, free-flowing, and an open forum, which is also arguably its downsides. Despite having official titles within the Earth Issue, we each do our part outside of our formal roles in ensuring the business runs smoothly. Sometimes it can be overwhelming, but I have learned a lot of things from working outside my comfort zone. The first project I'm going to share with you all is the Freedom Fundraiser. As a creative agency, in my opinion, the Freedom Fundraiser is probably the best thing we've ever worked on. In the midst of the pandemic, in support of the Black Lives Matter movement and the protests against George Floyd's murder at the hands of the police, we decided to organize a fundraising initiative to provide financial support to frontline organizations. What we came up with was a print sale featuring artwork generously donated by over 300 artists around the world. Running in June 2020 for 30 days, the Freedom Fundraiser raised just over £200,000, with 100% of the proceeds distributed to George Floyd Bail Funds and other organizations fighting for racial justice, helping provide crucial support to over 26 global organizations and individual causes within the Black Lives Matter movement. To name a few, artwork was donated by Ronan McKenzie, Adam Ajallo, and Jamie Hawksworth. The print sale was picked up on and featured on platforms such as Vogue, the British Photography Journal, and Hypebeast. So this project I'm going to sharing with you now is Stories of Change for the Barbican's Our Time on Earth exhibition. We were commissioned by the Barbican to produce a series of video interviews featuring global voices spearheading grassroots environmentalist initiatives. Presented across 10 screens and focusing on the Global South, with each storyteller creating positive change through direct activism or by amplifying the actions of their communities. Through stories of change and accountability, each video has the power to ignite hope and courage while inspiring viewers to discuss, reflect, and consider their own power to protect the natural world. Through 10 stories, the Earth issue weaves together the perspective of both people and planet. It unites people fighting for a more interconnected future, from documentary photographers and filmmakers to grassroots activists and youth campaigners. These stories investigate how colonialism, racial justice, identity, and indigenous knowledge intersect with global environmental effort. Stories of change celebrate the power of global creativity to transform the conversation around the climate emergency. And here is a little trailer.
This is a letter to the future. I can't see past today, but here I am, trying to summon the right words to say to you.
I began to notice Powell's blurred and focus of trash and litter so bitter it told us a story.
We are the generation that has to take action.
Wildlife biodiversity provides stability to nature's process. The human population has grown rapidly over 200 years and still continues growing exponentially. As a result,
Indigenous people have to bear with the consequences of climate change firsthand due to the extraction of our resources.
The earth is fast losing its natural resources. It needs dedicated and committed people to provide leadership.
I invite you as a storyteller and as chroniclers of the most important stories of our times.
Let our voices be heard. Let's preserve our heritage, our culture, our coastal communities, and our home.
So that the powers that be sit up and take notice.
It's imperative that the importance and insight of local ecological knowledge is not lost.
Time we listened and remembered how to be earthlings again. I have never heard so much life. Maybe we should be singing more about it too.
I'm Nathan Dawson.
I enjoy singing Longden.
My name is Sharona Schneider.
My name is Louis Guy.
Solomon Mahumane.
I'm Hilda Flavia Nakavir.
I'm Carmen.
Leo Serra.
I'm Arti Kumar Rao.
This is a letter from the future.
And a bit of a step change, but this is a reel I put together when I took my family to see the exhibition. They'd never actually been to the Barbican, but my grandma immigrated to London from the Philippines in the 70s and worked really hard to be able to provide for my dad and my aunt. She, no doubt, is the matriarch of the family and the reason why I'm standing here today, and there she is. So to be able to take my family to an exhibition where they could see our family name on display in a city they left their home for was definitely a full circle moment and made me so proud to represent my family in the Philippines. Oh God. Thank you. Here's a reel.
I be like, sheesh, sunset on the beach. Make me wanna pull up on Miami with the heat. I don't know about you, but I know about me. Summertime in Florida, catch me sliding on the key, yeah. Oh, something's happening inside of me. Excellence, yeah, it's gotta be hot and cold, it's dichotomy. Rock with me, we some prodigies. Lottie-dottie, we party. They hear us down in the lobby. We try to tell them to join us, and if they don't, they'll be sorry. No time to be addy hating. It's history in the making. I'm loving all the options, quite everything that they're saying. My mama proud as she ought to be. Elton John keep on calling me, but even if he didn't, she still think we hit the lottery. Don't need diamonds to be cold. I'm so shiny, I'm like, oh, you just gotta let it show. Run it back and let's reload.
Thanks. So moving on to more of the fashion aspect of the business, this is an editorial we worked on called Eleni and EO, an in-house fashion story that aims to highlight the beauty and longevity in classic and minimal design featuring exclusively conscious fashion brands and small businesses such as Sewn, Regina Pio, and Gervais. And a little BTS of the shoot. And lastly, this is our Earth Month editorial, Primary Colors Are Only Found in Nature, honoring the colors red, blue, and yellow as symbols of the essential elements of nature. For this story, we exclusively partnered with London-based industry-leading vintage archive 1801 London, founded in 2016 by creative consultants Dean Thomas and Christina Rivadula-Ray, who have traveled the world sourcing rare pieces for fashion design research and inspiration. This set is mostly upcycled using dead stock materials and resources. It was important for me to work on an editorial that showcases essentially secondhand clothing portrayed in a high fashion way. I believe that there is still stigma attached to the concept of pre-loved clothing. The fashion industry is one of the world's biggest polluters, yet we continue to manufacture newness without a thought of how it is affecting the planet and its people. This is particularly topical at the moment with London Fashion Week just finishing and it being secondhand September. Another little BTS of the glamour behind the scenes. My work with the Earth issue is rewarding, liberating, and at times mentally and emotionally exhausting because of the subject matter being so important to us. Living with respect to the planet and our people is how I choose to live my life, and so my advocacy and personal life can sometimes be blurred and can take a toll. It's important for me to say this in the hope that other people who feel this way can take solace in the fact that you're not alone in this fight. We must come together and stand up for what we believe in. To quote the Brazilian indigenous leader, Sonia Guajajara, "We are the earth. We arise from the earth, and we return to it. The earth is within us. The earth is our sister, our daughter, our aunt, our mother, our grandmother. The earth is our womb, our food, and our cure." And before I finish, I always like to end talks with a climate confession in order to close things on a lighter note and to express that I am no means the pinnacle of virtue. So I usually just like freestyle this bit. And so my climate confession for today is, there's so many, is right before this talk, I went to go get a hot chocolate and I used single-use plastic cup. But I did bring a water bottle. So yeah, on that note, thank you everyone.